Bringing in new and talented people to the university is a privilege and an opportunity for you as a search committee. My name is Mark Coldren, and I'm Associate Vice President for Human Resources here at the University of Buffalo. And I thought today I'd share a few things with you about how to create a plan for your search. There are four main elements to a great search plan. The first element of a search plan is to set the schedule. Think of this as a project. And in good projects, one great technique is to do a reverse order. You start with the date in which you want to make an offer and have a candidate accept it and begin their journey to start working here at the University of Buffalo. From that date, you back into it, including all the key milestones that the search is going to require. For example, you're going to need to figure out on calendars way ahead of time, where are you going to be able to look at candidates and discuss with them together. But never forget, you're also going to each need opportunities to individually go in and look at the criteria and bring your thoughts to that meeting. The second element of a successful search is to set the charge for the committee. In the initial meetings, as a group, you begin to discuss really important factors as you're thinking about how this search can have a great outcome. You're going to want input from the leadership of the unit to be able to talk about their perspective of what they hope to see as a successful outcome. You're going to want to also talk about what this could have as an impact on the students in your area. So that means you're going to need to know your demographics. You're going to look and say, what does our student population look like? That's a factor because many times students look to faculty and hope to see themselves somewhere represented in that. As you look around at your department meetings, what backgrounds do you all possess? What would complement those backgrounds? What could really stretch and transform the way that you look at your curriculum and how you teach your students? One thing I'd really like you to consider is the conversation around the necessity for experience versus what I like to refer to as readiness. Experience always seems to be a strong factor in every search that is conducted here at the university. We start off with saying how many years we hope that a successful candidate will possess before they come in. Look around your room. Look at the other members of your search committee. Look at your department. If you look at the demographics the way I've seen them here at the University of Buffalo, we have a lot of experience. So that maybe shouldn't be the number one thing we go look for. Perhaps we're looking for that candidate who's ready for that next challenge. So if experience doesn't become your number one priority, it doesn't become your number one criteria, then you might be looking for something entirely different. If you have this discussion at the beginning during your plan, you're going to move in the direction of having a search that will be much more inclusive and have a greater sense of meeting a lot of the values around diversity and inclusion that both SUNY and the university hope that you will. A third element of creating a great inclusive search is an outreach plan. And by outreach, it means all of you as individual committee members begin to start to think what you bring as an individual, what value can you provide to help make that pool more deep and more diverse. In your outreach plan, you should also include things like how each of you as committee members may reach out to 3 to 5 different individuals within your contacts and tell them about this position. Either recruit them directly or hopefully have your own personal network be able to provide even more depth to the pool. You can also reach out in any kind of professional network that you're part of. It could be a professional association, it could be when you go to a conference, it could be a lot of different things that you already have exposure to or visibility with. When you bring that to the committee, each of you will have a whole different set of potential opportunities to add people to the pool. Another element that you can add within this outreach plan is looking at external resources. In working with human resources on your advertising plan, bring in all the things that you know about your discipline. We will provide many platforms that can have the position provide visibility and at multiple levels, which can help you have the deepest and most diverse pool. The fourth element of a successful search plan is to discuss as a committee how you're going to look at the criteria and assess the candidate pool. Now, many people look at this as an exercise in rank order. I'm going to suggest to you there are better ways to do that. Rank order implies that you kind of find a way that you can see the best candidate and the second best and the third and so on. It's not always the best way to look at the possibilities of your pool. I'd like for you to think about perhaps putting your candidates into what I will refer to as buckets. I'd like to suggest that you can put your candidates into three basic categories. I'll refer to them as A, B, and C. A candidates are the candidates that really meet almost all of your criteria. They're the ones you're the most excited about. This, perhaps, if you were doing rank order, would be the first couple that you would have identified. Don't spend a lot of time on A's. You're definitely going to be in a situation that you want to learn more, and you're going to talk to them. So set them aside. In the B group, this would be candidates who have many of the qualities you're looking for, but maybe not all of them. These are candidates that could be a stretch, but I'd like to suggest these are candidates you might want to learn more about. So that what you should see in the B's are candidates who obviously meet the minimum qualifications, but maybe don't have all of the things that you were looking for in terms of priority. Experience tells us that when you look at a candidate pool in this manner, much of the diversity can come from the B level, not because they're underqualified, but because they might not meet what you initially thought, because they're going to bring a whole different perspective and a different lens to how they might do this position. That's where you should spend the time. Really look at the B's because you wanted to know more. That should be the real key driver when you're pulling together that list. The third category of C are the folks that are very close to not meeting your minimum qualifications or the folks who do not. When you make that list, these are folks you can kind of move on up from right out of the gate. I think this is a good opportunity to broaden how you look at things rather than just saying this is the number one candidate and everybody else is behind them. By building a good search plan, you are creating the opportunity that your pool of candidates will be deep, diverse, and talented. You're also going to try to find an opportunity to connect to the key things that are important to the university and to our system as we focus in on really diversifying our faculty. The way you do that is you bring in your passion, you bring in what you believe, and you bring in the knowledge and education that you may acquire as you go through this search process. I hope you have good luck with this because this is the most important thing you can do as you help the University at Buffalo aspire to be the kind of institution that it hopes to be. Thank you.